Hey you girls, welcome back to my channel. So in this one, I thought we could talk about the silence treatment, cause, consequences, and cure. Okay, and I am in a unique position in order to talk about the silence treatment because one thing about me, I am full of ish. Okay, and because I'm not full of ish, I'm going to recognize that, in my marriage, I actually put my ex-husband through a lot of silence treatment, right? And reason for that being, which is the cause of silent treatment, is that you become an expert at the silent treatment when, well, first of all, it's something that you've experienced, right? It's something that you've seen your parents do. And second of all, when you were made feel as a child that your feelings don't matter, okay, that what you say don't matter, that it's not valid, that nobody cares anyway, so you can say whatever you want. At the end of the day, don't nobody's gonna care, don't nobody's gonna hear you, your emotions are not valid, they are not cared for, or they won't be tend to, at least. And yeah, so you learn that there is no need to actually communicate my emotions or how I feel, because don't nobody give an F anyway, right? Don't nobody give a damn. And this is where, in my opinion, this is the root, oftentimes, of silent treatment, right? Because what happens when you don't deal with your emotion is that you get to a point where you can't even recognize them no more, because being able to deal with your emotional regulation is a skill. Contrary to popular belief, it is actually a skill. So what happens when you always push back your emotions, you don't deal with them, you get to a place where you can't even recognize them. So you could feel like you're angry, but really you're sad, right? And then you get to the point where not only don't you even know what you're feeling, I mean, if you get to a point where you don't even know what you're feeling, then clearly you won't know how to deal with what you're feeling, right? Like, I mean, let's be for real. If you can't even tell what you're feeling, then how are you going to deal with it, right? And yeah, in my opinion, this is the leading cause of the leading cause to silent treatment. And yeah, so what are the consequences of the silence treatment or being a silent treatment giver? Is obviously just bad relationship, bad friendship, and a lot of resentment, right? I would really say that the main consequence of a silent treatment is, a lot of resentment, right? Because if you don't communicate how you feel, right, it builds up inside of you. It's cooking like a, it's like when you put water to boil, right? It is cooking inside of you. All the emotions are cooking. If you put a cover on top of boiling water, it's really, really gonna cook. It's really gonna come to emulsion to the point where at some point you're even gonna hear, like, the water, like, if you've done that at home, I'm sure, if you cook eggs at home, for example, I'm sure you heard that before, right? Literally the waves inside the pot, like, hitting the walls of the pot, right? We've all been there, I feel. And I feel, that is basically what's going on to or with silent treatment givers, right? So if you get in the habit of not telling people how you feel, of just shutting down, the moment you feel overwhelmed with within an argument, or with something that people do, the moment you feel overwhelmed with boundaries that are not being respected, or the fact that other people are also setting a boundary, I find that sometimes also it can be overwhelming to deal with somebody who is very, very boundary, especially if you yourself grew up in an environment where there were no boundaries, or boundaries were not respected, or it wasn't a thing. It can be very stressful to deal with, to meet someone who is very boundaried, who is very clear about their boundary, especially if you are a people pleaser yourself, if you are somebody who, who mistakes firmness for anger or wickedness or meanness. I find that, for those people, other people's boundaries can be very, very stressful, right? So yeah, mainly I would say those are the consequences of, of being a silent treatment giver, or somebody who resources to silent treatment when they're going through a lot. Mainly, I would say it just build a lot of resentment. I would say, when silent treatment is used a lot in any type of, relationship, whether it's a marriage, a friendship, or relationship with children, the relationship is bound to die, right? Like, so much resentment is going to build up that the relationship is bound to fail. Okay, like, so obviously this is true in relationships where silent treatment is used a lot, right? A whole lot. So if it's used a lot, then these relationships are obviously bound to, they're about to fail, because again, there's only so much resentment someone can hold, right? A human being can hold, and you just get to a point of no return, where you're not going to be able to heal and come back from, the amount of resentment that is in each of you guys' heart. So how to cure being a silent treatment giver? Well, you'll have to tackle your emotions, right? Like, I know no one wants to do this, but it is really going to be necessary, and it's a journey, because like I said, people who are fervent silent treatment givers are often people who neglected their emotions so much that they got to a point where they don't even know what they're feeling. I know that when I started my healing journey, I didn't know what I was feeling a lot of the time, so I was upset a lot. Everything was anger, but really it wasn't anger. There was sadness underneath, grief underneath, but it all was anger to me. So if you are somebody who resort to giving the silent treatment a lot, and you want to stop doing that, you want to quit that behavior, you want to begin by assessing your feelings. Ask yourself, do you even know what you feel most of the time? Do you know the difference between sadness and anger, grief, and etc, etc, right? I would say begin there. Every time, whatever you're feeling, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Are you able to put an accurate name on whatever it is you're feeling? Once you get that, are you able to manage what you're feeling? Because, in order to express what you're feeling, first you have to be able to manage it. Emotional regulation is key here, right? So through meditation, I would say, is the best way to be able to manage, especially emotions that are overwhelming. So practice breathing, meditation, practice not, talking or not reacting, at least, since we are talking about silent treatment, in the midst of very, very powerful emotions. So in the midst of anger, very strong anger, or even extreme joy, whatever it is you're feeling, any emotion that, grief, that is very, very strong and powerful, practice mindfulness when you feel those emotions, and practice not reacting, at least, verbally to them at first, and, see first if you can, calm it down and find out exactly, what you're feeling before you go off, and, in the case of anger, for example, or sadness, blow off on someone's face. And yeah, I'd say the last step, obviously, since silent treatment comports the word silent, is learn how to communicate what you feel. Now, this is very, very hard, but you want to communicate what you feel instead of understand that if you are somebody who have been given people the silent treatment for the longest time, when you enter a conflict with somebody, or once you're upset at someone's behavior, your first, your knee-jerk reaction is going to be wanting to, just be quiet and, ignore them and do your own thing, right? So you have to push back against this knee-jerk reaction that you're going to feel every single time. You want to push back against it and, communicate, right? Now, you want to communicate calmly, obviously, you don't want things to escalate. And also, you want to use a lot of I statement, right? This is going to be really important, right? I feel when you do X, Y, Z, I feel X, A, B, C, right? Or I feel ABC when you do X, Y, Z. Or when you say X, Y, Z, it makes me feel as if ABC, right? So statements along those lines, because you want them to be non-aggressive statements. So because otherwise the other person is going to feel aggressed, and obviously they're going to reply then in anger, and the whole point or purpose of trying to diffuse the situation is going to be just null or void. But yeah, you also want to make sure that you're only doing this with people who are actually safe, people who won't invalidate your feelings, because the worst thing that can happen to you if you are somebody who used to resort to silent treatment a lot, and you want to better yourself, and you want to heal, and you want to improve, kudos to you for that, is bumping them into someone who invalidates your feeling, right? Like this is going to, you know, you're going to regress like crazy. Like you're going to run back to becoming, you know, a silent treatment giver like crazy, because it's just an environment that is unsafe. Okay, so if you're dealing with somebody who is manipulative, somebody who is narcissist, someone who always invalidates your feeling, or who is a master at invalidating other people's feeling, gaslighting them, making them feel as if they're crazy, then obviously, you know, this is not the right person in order to practice you know, your non-silent treatment givers skills. Okay. Let me put that out of the way. I actually should have started with that disclaimer, because, you know, really important. It's a journey, you know, like everything else. I always say that there is no such place as healed. You know, we are all healing, you know, as we go. You know, healing is one step forward, is two steps back, you know, as we go. Sometimes if you feel like you regressed or you're regressing, please take care of yourself. Please be kind to yourself. You know, again, it's a journey. Yeah, and we're all in this together. None of us, you know, got to figure out. We're all doing the best we can, and at any given time, that's all you can ask of yourself. You know, you can't ask of yourself something that you don't have. You can't ask of yourself more than what you got to give, you know. So yeah, be compassionate with yourself in this healing journey. You're gonna need that, you know. And yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, I'm grateful and appreciative of you. I hope that I did an okay job at explaining the silent treatment in the way that I myself used to experience it, and how my mental health professional explained it to me. Obviously, you can use one yourself in this journey of helping you to recover from that. You can try BetterHelp.com, for example. It is affordable. No, this video is not sponsored by them, obviously, but yeah, it is affordable online therapy or counseling service. Yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, you know, what do you think of this? Were you someone who received the silent treatment a lot as a child? Are you someone who gives the silent treatment a lot? Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you guys soon, and very soon. Bye guys. Mwah. Thanks for watching.